This is a homebrew podcast.
Nia, have you read the news today? I was perusing one of the articles that Craigory had put out, but I'm starting to put together some dots. Here, take a look. The string of murders. Do you see any strange similarities?
I don't know. I mean, there's always a lot of murders in Dirge, isn't there?
Not like this. Look, it reminds me of something about 4 years back. Are you familiar with the legends of Dark Spartan 108?
Dark Spartan 108. Oh, you know, we don't typically like to say that name out loud around these parts.
You're safe here, don't worry. I just wanted you to know, have you heard anything on the streets? I don't know if Craigory knows what he's been writing about. He should be careful.
He can be a bit reckless, that's for sure. What do you make of it? What do you think? Do you think the Spartans about?
I certainly hope not. We've had a couple of years of peace, but if the Spartan is back, well, I don't know. Oh look, hold on. Craigory's coming in. Let's ask him what he saw at the crime scene. Craigory, do you know what you've been writing about? What did you see at this crime scene?
It was terrible. It was like what we saw 4 years ago. Just awful, disgusting, terrible. I can't even. I don't want to get too into it. I'm gonna.
Craigory, Craigory, I need you to look me in the eye right now and listen when I ask. Would you say that the Spartan is about?
I would say the Spartan is about.
And the night is dark.
God.
The night is dark.
What is it
Curse
for?
it. Curse it.
Please, I hope we all stay safe. Dark Spartan 108 is about. Thank you for your service, Dark Spartan 108, but please, spare us.
Welcome back to Mythcraft the podcast, The Ties That Bind. Let's meet our ne'er-do-well negotiators, starting with Maggie.
Nia Coraheen, wondering if I should plan to have some words with my brother-in-law.
Mal.
Or Rendo. I think that went pretty well, all things considered.
Roger.
Geist. We should have knocked.
Alex.
Craigory Arso. The darkness is about.
And Andy.
Nira. Nix.
And I'm your MC, Nathan. Let's jump in. Last time on The Ties That Bind, you pressed into the ingots smelting factory and spoke with Bungamet Blackstone, who, as Durrell's cousin, was authorized to negotiate on behalf of the ingots. While Nia and Bungamet briefly exchanged hushed words and occasionally had a tense undertone, overall it seemed like the discussions went well. It seems that the ingots and the cobblers are aligned against Molitor for the time being. Each of the heroes were very shaken from the bold-faced attack on the streets, though, and they each had restless nights in the spare rooms of the rendezvous. So, zooming in on those restless nights that each of the party members are having. Nyx, in your dreams, you find yourself in a vast, empty hall, the walls stretching far above you, the ceiling lost in the gloom overhead. The walls are adorned with distorted, broken mirrors. Each reflection in the mirror warps your appearance. Some are like funhouse mirrors, others change your appearance in more profound ways. These images flicker between your current form and your true form. Black, dark hues and eyes of luminous green, and countless other forms. You see yourself as an elven woman with radiant silver hair, a human with soft brown skin, a halfling with fiery red curls. As in many dreams, these people are not you, and yet they are. Each form feels wrong, resting on your psyche, like a too large gown. The mirrors shift, and with each one, your reflection or the reflection of a not you stares back at you. A voice echoes around you, cold and sharp. Why do you hide? Why pretend to be something you are not? You try to turn from the mirrors, but no matter which direction you turn, the mirrors follow you. They appear before you, continuing to reflect back every insecurity you have ever felt. The tall, thin figure of your elven self glares at you, your eyes piercing your mind with the weight of your own doubts. You will never truly fit in. You're always something other than what they see. The reflection morphs again, becoming your true self, the one you so desperately try to hide. The dark skin, the emerald eyes that feel so out of place. You cringe back from the sight, feeling exposed. The reflection seems to taunt you, a cruel smile tugging at your lips. You'll never be good enough for them, Nira. You don't belong in their world. You're nothing but a liar who doesn't even know who she is. You see now in the mirrors your friends and your new companions appearing in the reflections. And just like that, a gunshot rings out. All of the mirrors shatter at once. You cry out in pain and in fear, and you hear the voice again, louder and deeper this time. You are nothing but a mask, always hiding behind someone else's skin, and you will never be more than this. The ground cracks beneath you, and you plummet into an abyss of shadows. For an instant, you see yourself floating above your true self, dark and untouchable, watching in silence and judging. Your reflection in your mind speaks one final time, its voice a final cutting whisper. You're not enough. You never were. And then blackness. And then another voice, this one much kinder. But before you hear from it, I'm going to have everyone remove their headsets.
Whoa.
Secret time.
So in the darkness, another voice speaks to you. Damn, kid. That's some heavy shit, Nix.
Tony?
In the darkness, you see the outline of an elf appear. He's got light skin, short-cropped, dark hair. He's got a large rifle on his back. It is, as you said, it is Tony.
I think as soon as she sees him, this dream world immediately shifts, and both figurative and literative walls come down, boxing them into essentially just a small room, hopefully canceling everything out, all of the darkness.
Mm-hmm. I think Tony would have some influence on the appearance of the dream as well, and so, like, you're boxing the darkness out. There's some degree of a comfortable environment that begins to materialize within these walls, so that it probably, I imagine for Nyx, look a little bit like a library study room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, books, couches.
Yeah, soft, subdued light, somewhere between cozy and studious.
Tony, why are you here? Did I miss? Oh, I didn't check the bar.
No,
sorry.
Nyx, you didn't miss anything. I'm just checking in. I apologize for the intrusion, but the news of what you've been through reached me.
Last night, yeah, I was shot. Craigory was shot. She winces, remembering the pain in her shoulder and her thigh. What happened? Why? I have so many questions about everything. Why does Pete? And she takes a second to kind of collect everything going on. Does Pete know?
He knows you're my asset. By extension, an asset of the cobblers. He does not know your full capabilities.
Am I working for him now? Do I work for you still? I don't know how to... I was caught off guard. Did you know he was going to ask me? No.
No. Of course, I work for him too, and so, by extension, you do work for him. You report to him more directly now, of course. I will be having words with him to determine the extent of my mediation there. He should not have sent you into danger, and
That was our agreement, Tony.
Yes.
Well, I'm there now. Do you know anything about Nia, the new wife? Or Geist, this new Geist fellow?
Nia Severs?
Yes. She was shooting shadows with her mind, Tony.
Then the rumors are true. Yes. The Severs, the women of the Severs family, have abilities. Skips generations.
Excellent.
But, yes.
Do you know anything about Geist? Is he a danger? I had him in my room, and I think he bugged it, but I checked everywhere, and I did not find anything. It was so stupid. And he said he's just a shop owner, but he picked up that rifle and shot that man down, Tony. Why is he involved?
I know nothing of Geist beyond the shop that he owns, but I will look into it for you. Well, listen, I want you to know, I'm angry with Pete. I'm angry that he sent you into danger. It violated my commitment to you, and it's a waste of your capabilities.
It's too late now, Tony. It is what it is, so we just have to continue from there.
I would like to tell him, but I will not if you wish for me not to.
You is always the one exception to the rule. If you feel like it's necessary, it might help. It seems like I'm going to be involved regardless.
Him knowing how best you can be involved should keep you out of harm's way.
Then tell him. It's fine.
On the off chance that it doesn't, we should train you up on firearms.
Oh, I shot the gun. I hit both times. You would be proud.
I am. I'm sorry it was necessary.
At least I had it. What should I be doing now? I mean, the jobs are overlapped now. Pete also wants me to talk to the president, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Meeting with the presidency seems to be a safe and reasonable use of everything that you've been training for, that you're capable of. Continue on that front.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Report to Pete.
All right.
I will speak with him.
I think I'm going to look into Geist myself.
Very well. I will still do what I can on my end.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Sleep well, Nix.
We both know that's not going to happen, Tony.
And Tony will gradually fade. The room will fade. Darkness will take over, and you'll slip into a little dreamlessness, a little disturbed, nightmarish landscape for a while, but you make it through the night.
What did he say?
So everyone has had a variety of dreams and restlessness over the course of the night. I'd like for each of you to make an endurance or charisma check to determine how poorly you slept.
Oh.
Will you accept
Are there any
deceiving to
skills?
deceive my body into well rested?
Persuading?
I'm going to accept
it was
deceiving.
fine,
Wait.
it was fine.
Would you accept intimidating to intimidate my body into getting restful sleep?
No.
Okay.
I could.
What about force
the-
march?
Empathy would be a maybe.
Savoir
I
faire.
forgot empathy was a skill.
I don't think so.
I'm
No.
supposed to be here.
I'm supposed to be having a good sleep, so I did.
Right.
Gregory got a 14. Charisma.
17
Okay.
for Geist.
I mean, if we're doing empathy, Nyx would have got a 21, but
Okay.
It's 9 for Nia.
10 for Rendo.
So, Rendo and Nia, you both wake up fatigued. You gain 1 death point, and
No.
next time you would remove death points, you instead remove the fatigued condition.
I don't like
sorry,
that.
Mal.
Dang.
What dreams did you have?
Not cute.
This is your guys' dreams. This is
Yeah,
mine.
these are.
I'm
this
still
is your
blaming
dream.
you
This is-
because I don't know what happened.
Uh-huh.
I did it. 100%.
hmm And Geist and Craigory, you're both fine. I'm gonna say there might be some tactical disadvantage if you try to do anything super physical today, but it's not like full-on fatigue. And next, we will count empathy with you. I think it makes sense given some things. So you wake up physically rejuvenated, regardless of your mental state.
Badass.
And we'll keep the camera, as it were, on Nyx for now as you wake up. At least 2 of your companions went to sleep in the rendezvous, and you would have been aware of that. So you know they're probably still around.
Maybe. Nyx would wake up in her disaster of a room and just take a deep breath. All right, new day. You've got this. Day for perfection. Room has to be perfection to match. And she would go about putting everything back exactly how it is and should be. So make her bed, put everything back together, put all her books back. She's just resetting her room. And she would look in the mirror at her exhausted self and the wound on her shoulder and just take another deep breath. To fix that and focus. She'd leave the wound on her shoulder, but the bloodshot would go out of her eyes. The sleepless look would go away. She would look essentially pristine, like she just woke up, fresh day, wonderful night, everything's fine. And she'd just put on a smile and head out the door to first go see if Craigory is still here, because she needs to check on him because she's convinced he's not fine.
What time and day of the week is it?
Let's see.
I have a
Let me
job.
pull up my. Yeah, right.
You're late, bud.
Let me
I
pull
know.
up my calendar here.
I feel like Nyx is an early bird, so.
Real World Wednesday. I'm gonna find out what that's actually called in Ansera real quick. But yeah, you wouldn't be late to work yet.
Great. Craigory would still be there, slowly getting his day going. Slept okay, but he had really bad nightmares the whole night. Sleepless. But he still feels fine in the morning, all things considered.
So she'd run right to the room where he was at and just walk in. She wouldn't knock, she would just walk in. So if the door's unlocked, she's just going in. Craigory, it's good morning. You look like shit. What? Did you sleep okay?
It is morning. It's not very good. I slept. Again, not very good.
I didn't sleep well either. Are you okay?
You don't look like it.
I always look wonderful, Craigory. Let's be honest.
That's true.
It's the makeup. I gotta be prepared for the job. Though I hope they don't make me dance with these gunshots, because that would be really shitty of them.
That would be, I mean, maybe you can get some good sympathy tips from it.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. It was a interesting day yesterday, to say the absolute very least.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I still don't trust any of them. But I'm thinking, remember, old times, bottle of wine, the library. Maybe me and you, tonight or tomorrow, we just get together, go bribe that man down at the town hall, do some research, bottle of wine.
That's perfect. I desperately need
Right.
that.
Right, it just sounds like so much fun, and I think you could use it, I could use it. You don't want to really sleep because of nightmares, I don't really want to sleep because of nightmares, so...
Let's do it.
Do you have to work today?
Yeah, but I can be in and out. It's not a very heavy day.
And we can do it later, or you can call it work. Right, so just tell Carlo you're
true.
going to do research on your next story. He doesn't need to know about the wine.
I mean, he never does.
I'm going to try to drag Geist around a bit today to get to know him a little bit better. Meet up
what?
with you later. No, listen, we have to know who he is to why he kills people, right? Because he's terrifying. I didn't find a bug, by the way. I looked through my whole room. Well, I found a bug, but it wasn't a bug. It was a little ladybug. And I let it out the window and it immediately got eaten by a bird, and I think that's a sign.
Oh, jeez.
But, yeah, so, anyways, coming back to the topic at hand, I think the only way that he's going to open up is if I try to get to know him, right? And maybe he keeps wanting me to go to that stupid-ass shop. Maybe I can use that as a way, I do need a new pair of trousers to replace Ruby's.
Yeah, that's true. He has been trying to get all of us to go to his shop, really. That's not just you. It's been everyone.
Do you think that's stupid? I would try to get to know Nia better, but she scares me a lot more than Geist does at the moment.
Yeah. I don't think that's a terribly bad idea. He has been trying to get you to go to his shop, so it might not be too bad to show up there.
What else am I doing today? So I'll do my usual morning routine and stop by the priesthood and then go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, I need to stop and at least make face at the office, and then I can
What
start
are you
getting
going to write
things.
about?
Well, not that. I can't write about what just happened.
Don't forget, Pete said to fix the O'Brien thing, so maybe that's what you should write about.
Yeah, what? What does that mean? Fix? I can't just put something out there like that.
I mean, you're not lying because it's the truth, right? You're fixing, it used to be a lie, and you're bringing about the truth. So technically you're reporting the truth, so you're not, breaking anything.
Politics haven't really been my thing, reporting on that.
That's going to
Brings a
look
lot
weird,
more
yeah.
attention to me. I don't want any more attention on me after the last few days we've had.
Is there somebody at work that, you can just talk to and be like, hey, this is a story. I don't think I should write it. Have it. And then they can put it up there.
What if they get the front page?
What about Tamisa? Sorry.
The yellow... You
Tamisa.
think I'm going to give something to the Yellow Journal instead of someone at the Red Line Press? Absolutely not. You must be
You
dreaming.
could talk to Tamisa again. All right.
You must be dreaming, like I said. Talk to Tamisa again? No. Out of the question.
Well, fine.
Maybe...
What?
Amy could do this.
I don't know, Amy.
She works... She's a colleague.
Do you
She's
like
done more
her?
political stuff than I have. She's good people, and maybe throwing some information her way could help me too.
There you go. That sounds like a great plan. Are you
Alright.
sure you're okay?
No, but as okay as I'm gonna be.
Okay. Next, we'll just give Craigory a big hug. Last night sucked, but we're in it now. We'll be fine. The more information we have, the safer we'll be.
He returns the hug. You're right. Stay safe. Keep your guard up.
Okay. Meet later. Research.
Yes.
I'll steal a bottle of wine from somewhere. We'll be fine.
I'll bring one too.
Yes. 2 bottles of wine. I'm gonna go see if Geist is still here.
Alright,
Toodles.
let's go. Break.
Break.
Put our hands in the middle, we say go team.
Yep. We need a team name. Shit. This is the next thing.
I'll work on that while you work on Geist.
Okay.
He flips to a page in his book and you can see potential nicknames for the two of them already crossed out on a sheet of paper.
Pages
It'll come
and
to
pages
us.
and pages.
Workshop.
It's its own notebook. And yeah, Nyx will make her way out and go knock on Geist's door to see if he's still there. Would Geist still be there, or would Geist be elsewhere?
Geist would probably still be here. He's somewhat of an early riser, but he's not in any hurry to go and get the shop opened extra early today. He's probably in his room still getting ready, so as the knock comes in, you would hear, "Come in."
All right, burst open the door. Good morning.
And he's still getting
Listen,
dressed.
Geist, why are you half naked?
And so he's got his pants on, but he doesn't have any shirt on, and he is just covered in scars across his back from what you can see currently.
Do you want to talk about all that, or are we just going to breeze past it and have a conversation like it's not there?
He just turns around with a little smile on his face. "Oh, Nyx. Apologies. Here, one moment. Let me finish." And he slowly finishes getting dressed.
Is this like a striptease or something? How long am I going to have to wait?
I think this would be the opposite of that.
I don't know. Listen.
I feel like you would know, though.
Touche. I'm glad I caught you before you left. I'm sure you have a very busy day ahead of you to open your shop and
Oh, I hadn't even
whatever
thought of it.
else
Yes.
you do with your life. I wanted to first come and apologize for how I've been the last couple of days. I've been a bit...
What do you mean
in your
apologize for how you've
absence,
been?
I haven't been myself, and I was hoping that after our initial meeting, you would actually, get to know me and not me as a discombobulated mess who's under a panic.
Listen, you have done absolutely nothing at all to undersell whatever it is, whoever it is you are. You've done nothing to offend me
Well, I didn't think I
whatsoever.
offended you, but now I kind of think I did offend you.
You seem remarkably kind, remarkably pleasant.
Well, that's nice.
You don't need to make up for anything, but if you're offering to get to know me on a somewhat deeper level, I'd be more than happy to spend some time with you.
I mean, I haven't gotten that far yet, but that was my next question. Yeah, I have a bunch of things I have to do today, and I was actually hoping that you can accompany me because after last night, I'm not going to lie, a little bit spooked, but you look like you know how to handle yourself enough that I could not be in danger.
Yes, about that. I was worried for you and for Craigory. That did not necessarily seem like it was normal for you. I apologize for how that must have seemed. Rather aloof, somewhat uncouth, remarkably troublesome. I hope you slept well.
I did not, actually, but it's a new day.
You wouldn't look it.
Yes, as I've been told. So, you'll spend the day with me?
Of course. It's the least I could do after what you had to see last night.
Well, you need to button your shirt a little bit faster if we're going to go. I've got some place to be, but I'll meet you downstairs.
Very well. I'll be down momentarily.
All right. We'll have Nyx and Geist go about their day interspersed with a couple other configurations of players. So quickly, Craigory, as you are getting ready to leave the rendezvous, you would see your sister taking stock and doing kind of bookkeeping inventory stuff at the bar on the first floor. And she'd wave you over. Craigory, I didn't realize you were here overnight. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
You look like you slept terribly.
I did. It was quite the day we had yesterday. Quite the night.
What? Is that all I'm getting? Come on. What happened?
Oh, Tristan. I can't relive it right now. It was just... it was a lot. Tristan, do you know...
You have
I know...
scabs all over your face. What happened to you?
Yes. I went out with some of the Trubies last night.
Okay.
One of the Trubies. And we got into some trouble. Some trouble found us, at least.
All right.
Tristan, it's too early for this. I can't. It was terrible. Have you? I don't even want to get. Oh, jeez, I'm gonna get sick again. He's thinking about like shooting the person with the bow, seeing people shot in front of him and just killed. He just kind of goes blank for a moment, stares forward, snaps back. It's like,
You need a Bloody Mary?
no, that. Oh, I'm gonna get sick. No, that's anything without blood is what I need right now. That's what I can tell you about last night. For now, when I get my head more straight, I can tell you more. But it was too much to
Okay.
deal with.
All right. Well, hey, we won't talk about this tonight, of course, but you'll be at family dinner, right?
Of course, I wouldn't miss it.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll see you there. I do want to. I need to know what's going on. You don't look all right, but I won't bring it up in front of mom and dad. You know how they get.
Yeah, I can't have them worrying about this too. That'd be too much. But I will tell you what happened. I need some time. He just rubs his eyes. It's been too much.
All right. Well, stay safe.
You two, he'll just give her a really big hug, bigger than he usually gives her, just really holding her tight. He goes, "Be safe." And he goes off.
All right. And let's turn now to the cobbler's cause, where Nia and Sheldon are waking up, and where in the guest room of the apartment, Rendo would also be waking up. I'll start with Nia, because as well, Maggie, I'll ask you, would you want to have some time to speak with Sheldon before Rendo comes in, or are you looking to avoid any kind of conversation, or like letting him know what was actually going on?
I don't think that she'd be necessarily like wanting to avoid any conversation. I think she would try to wake up a little bit before him, just to like sort of test the bounds of the little bracelet that they share, because she is kind of curious, like to what end. Like if she and her compadres are put into a situation where she could be put in danger, like how far is the Trubies willing to put their youngest son in that way, because he's linked to her. So I think she would have taken one of her hairpins and just like laying in bed next to him, she's gonna kind of watch his body, but like almost like a voodoo doll in reverse. She would like poke her hand and see if he flinches or anything, how much pressure has to be applied, and like try to gauge that, because she's pretty confident at this point that he can't feel any like emotional entanglements that she may be having. So then she's really wondering, okay, where does the physical actually start? Like how much could I put myself through without having to really worry about him?
Mm-hmm. So are you willing to actually escalate until you hit exactly that?
I mean, she would rather not have to draw blood, but yeah.
You're using a hairpin. I think,
Yeah.
Okay, eventually, after doing this for 10 minutes in bed,
Okay.
you do finally draw blood. You take 2 points of damage, but mechanically you take 1, and he like twitches and takes 1.
Shh, it's you're fine, darling. Oh, you're having a bad dream, clearly. It's okay. Shh, just tuck the pin
Nikki. Nikki,
away. It's all right. I know, it's okay, darling. Just
coals
try
in the
to get,
fireplace.
just try your best to get some rest. I'm going to get up and get cleaned up for the, and there we go. Okay. So she'll get up and sort of get herself cleaned up, just dressed and wash her face, pull her hair back, and kind of get her day started. She doesn't really need to wait for him, clearly. He needs the rest.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that he was still asleep through all of his
Perfect.
mutterings and through the little damage that he took.
Good. That's perfect.
As you're getting ready, he'll eventually wake up, rub his eyes, kind of get his bearings, go through his own quick little morning routine, splash water on his face, wake himself up. So, love, last night you asked me if I was afraid.
Aye?
I gather that means that at some point last night you were afraid.
Only slightly. I was concerned a few moments about our safety, but for the most part, honestly, I was more worried about what the effects would be on you if something were to happen to me.
Listen, Nia, I'm less concerned about the supernatural effects that anything like that would have on me than just the emotional weight, the devastation I'd feel if something did happen to you. Like, I understand we're in a dangerous world, and I know you're part of the underground. You have been as long as I have. I get that, but I don't know. I can't help but worry. You know.
So is that all you really felt then? Through everything was just worry?
I mean, I was in a bit of a tussle of my own. I mean, you know, Bill got beat up pretty bad. He's fine. No broken bones or anything. But no, I mean, I'm just, well, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't want to smother you saying don't, you know, I know you can handle yourself.
No, you're fine. I have to admit, in the parts when I wasn't a little bit nervous, I was kind of thrilled and excited by the whole thing, so I didn't know if maybe you had shared any of that as well.
I mean, I love a good fight. I don't believe that the emotions that I felt last night match up with the ones you felt. If that's what you're getting at with the bracelets, it doesn't seem that we share anything there.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you and Bill are all right. Where was Pete in all of this?
Oh, he was there too. He and I managed to stay out of getting any serious licks. Bill never does. Bill prefers it that way. I don't know. But he's fine. Or he'll be fine. His face isn't fine, but whatever.
It was just something at the bar or something more serious?
Roughing up some Molitor.
Very good. All right. Well, I think I need to be probably going on about my business for the day, but I'll be seeing you and your brothers later, yeah?
Of course, yeah. Pete wanted me to ask you if you'd want to partake in the strategizing about how and where we're going to cut off and otherwise make life difficult for the Molitor. He said that, I mean, we all think that you have like some good instincts about this. I'd say that if it's not too forward, or if I'm not overstepping family bounds here, I'd say that you take after your grandfather in that respect.
I certainly like to think so, and certainly more so than any of the rest of my siblings. So, yeah, I would have to agree with that. And I would definitely like to talk to Pete a little bit more about last night and how it all went down and how we could maybe find ways to prevent it from happening that way again.
Right. Do you have other business you need to attend to? Because we'll put together a war council, as it were. I know Nikki would have loved thinking about it in those terms. All the lords and ladies gathering around a big feast table, suits of armor hanging from the backs of the chairs and everything. Anyway, we can put all of that together for breakfast.
That sounds perfect. That sounds very good. I've just got to, take Tinker out for his walk and
Of course, yeah. Half an hour?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Right, so I'll get pancakes, hot sauce, and bloodthirsty agendas on the menu.
Beautiful.
And Rendo, at any point, if you would like to awaken and make your way into this conversation, you can as well.
Yes. Rendo did not sleep well, so he's taking a little bit longer than usual to wake up. It's still only been like 1 or 2 nights in this new place, so he's still getting used to all the smells and the sounds at night. He's got, if there's a window in his room, it's on the windowsill. If not, it's on like the bedside table. The piece of broken plant in a little glass in water. So he's not like abandoning it, but he's not keeping it on his person at all times. He'll wake up, also splash water on his face, do some push-ups just to get blood flowing, and then wait and hear until he can hear the door open, and then he'll come out of his door as well. Morning.
Good morning, Rendo. Did you sleep all right?
All right enough. Are you taking little one out?
I'm going for a walk outside in the public with my dog. Will you be joining us?
Right. It's in the job description, I'm sorry.
Perfect. And she's going to hand him a little bag and go, you can follow behind. And just under the assumption that if and when Tinker has his accident, be sure to just pick that up since you'll be with us anyway. Come along, Tinker.
He's got it kind of pinched out in front. He's not quite sure how to hold it.
It's just like a little brown paper bag, basically. It's just empty.
It's a very important task.
Yes.
As you head about your morning walk with Tinker, we'll transition back to Nyx and Geist.
After Geist came downstairs, like, oh, all right, we're going to be late, so hurry up. We have to go up to...
Apologies, lead the way.
Thank you. And she will lead him through the streets of Dirge up towards the priesthood of Pekesh, which is where she goes most of her mornings.
As the two of you approach the priesthood of Pekesh, this would be a large temple built on a little bit of a natural elevation in the city, so it looks even taller and larger than it actually is. It just looms a little bit above the nearby rooftops. And this building is, imagine a Japanese pagoda. The rooftops are slowly slanting into one another, and there's a lot of ivy growing on these rooftops. There's trellises that help the ivy grow in decorative patterns, flowering ivy, vines like jasmine, that kind of plant. So the whole thing smells lovely, especially in comparison to the rest of the city as you approach, just thanks to the amount of nature that there is on this building. As you make your way inside to the areas that are open to the public during daylight hours, the first thing that you would see, I think, is just this marble pillar that goes up about 3 feet, and then there's a seed, an acorn that is inserted into the top of the column itself, just kind of a shrine of sorts, symbolizing the potential of greatness from something very small. Past that, there would be a sanctuary that... So the Temple of Tovere usually is scented with incense and burning candles. The priesthood of Pekesh would be scented, again, just through natural means, through the various aromatic flowers that are growing along the trellised windows in this sanctuary. There would be magical lighting. Think like fireflies that are clearly not actually alive, but just gradually kind of flitting about this area. Very, if you were to go into the primal source of magic, it would be similar to the glimmer chant, just kind of a nice dim light throughout the area.
I don't know what I expected, but I did not think that this would be our first stop. What brings you here, Nyx?
She would pull a necklace out from one of her pockets that just had a little acorn on it, and she'd put it on herself. Do you know the teachings of Pekesh, Mr. Geist? Are you familiar with the
Not
conclave?
as well as I did in my youth, Nyx. It's been some time.
I figured with your light show the other night, you might appreciate it. I grew up with the teachings. It's said that patience is what brings about fruits of our labor. Pekesh teaches that if you are truly patient and you wait, sometimes for decades even, the good things will come to you. But honestly, I think that people misunderstand his teachings because I disagree with this.
What do you think it means then?
I believe that patience is something you need, and I do believe that's Pekesh's intent. But I believe he intends for you to wait for the opportunity to show. And it is still up to you to take that opportunity. It is not just waiting for the thing to happen. If you just wait for the thing to happen, it never will. There's so many people out there that just wait and wait and wait, and it never comes. And I think that's because they're waiting for the wrong thing.
They're waiting for something magic to happen to them, when the real magic is learning when to strike. I understand what you're saying.
Interesting choice of words, but yes, choosing when to act to bring about what you want. Anyways, I stop here most mornings. I've been a little bit impatient as of late, so I wanted to come and ask my forgiveness real quick before we went about our day, because I didn't need to make the Fae angry. That's for sure.
No, on that we can agree. Take your time. I have plenty of patience in this space.
And she would just take a brief moment. This is uncomfortable enough for her, sharing this. I would guess that it would be, instead of like a lot of faiths where you light a candle, I would imagine in here it's planting a seed. So I think she would plant a seed of one of her favorite flowers, trying to bring more beauty to the area, and do a brief ask of forgiveness for her impatience over the past week. That's it. Thank you for attending here with me.
If I recall, it's been so long, but if I think deeply back into the teachings, it's not necessarily that somebody was meant to learn when to make the move, but followers here, they were meant to leave with the virtue of patience, even if that means waiting their entire life for nothing to happen. Is that the type of person you are, Nyx?
Not at all. That doesn't mean I can't follow it. Who has that much patience in life, really?
Very few people that I have met do. Very few.
Which is why I'm asking for forgiveness, because it's just not going to happen. But you can try.
Every day, we try. Do
Every
a little
day
bit
we
better.
try. Maybe.
Though, I don't let the decisions that I've made hold me back. Sometimes you have to make choices. And if you look backwards, you can't keep moving forward to do what needs to be done. At least, that's been my experience. I would never put my beliefs on you, Nyx.
You say you never look backwards.
I try not to. Some things are better left in the past.
On that we can agree on. Shall we go somewhere more exciting?
Yes, but Nathan, before we leave, my secondary profession is that of Inquisitor, and it is something known that I've gone around to local temples and regularly check in to see if they need any odd jobs. Do I recognize anyone, and am I recognized by anyone while I am here?
So, while Nyx is doing her own reflection, and then while Nyx and Geist are talking with one another after that, there would have been a member of the clergy in this establishment. It's also in the sanctuary space. And after a moment, she would make her way over to you. This is an elf, and she is significantly older than Nyx. She looks to be solidly in her middle age, which could be between 200 and 400 as an elf. And Geist, you do know this individual. Her name is Marussia Vine.
Marussia Vine.
Marussia Vine.
The names are top tier in this campaign, Nathan. I've just got to say, Bungamet, Marussia, like, come on now.
Tabungamet.
Zabunga. Silent.
I think you mean Silent.
It had to come from somewhere.
Oh
The soft
Stop
comes
it.
into play a lot, yeah.
So yes, Marussia Vine is an associate of Geist. You've spoken with one another in the past. She'd acknowledge your presence, Geist, and she would look to Nyx, having witnessed Nyx have some time of introspection here, and simply say, we hold services every Wednesday night. If you wish to reflect in a group setting, then the invitation is always open. If you prefer your solitude, then that's perfectly understandable as well.
I appreciate that. I work most Wednesday nights, but
Sorry, every Scarlinde night.
I work most nights, regardless of what they're called. Guys, you're going to respond to this nice woman.
The invitation is open to you, of course, as well, Mr. Geist.
It's good to see you again, Marussia. How's everything been going since I completed that job for you?
It's been going splendidly, yes. Thank you for asking.
Please let me know if you have any more troubles. I'd be more than happy to take care of this. And please, pass that along to any of your parishioners as well.
I will be sure to pass that along. If you, on the other hand, are in need of any assistance with any of your own future jobs of this variety, I can certainly get you in contact with Theodore.
That would be greatly appreciated. Is there a time or a day that I should stop by for this conversation? Or they're always more than welcome to pop by my shop.
I'll give Theodore the address, but otherwise, he will be back in on Dimian's Day.
Thank you. And again, a pleasure seeing you, Marussia.
As always.
As soon as they get outside, Do you just know everybody?
I mean, I can't imagine that I know everyone in Dirge, but I've been known to get around. It's good to have acquaintances, friends, whenever you need assistance.
So you do jobs for the priesthood, but you didn't know the teachings of Pekesh.
No, I said I knew them, but I knew them better when I was young.
Right.
Where is next on your list?
Actually, I had a proposition for you before you started talking, and now I'm not so sure. But you are making it quite difficult to get to know you, despite my best efforts to let you get to know me. So how about we play a game?
A game. All
Yes,
right,
a game.
very
It
well.
seems more up your alley.
Oh,
2
well.
questions, honest answers only, and I don't mean half-truths, Mr. Geist. Completely honest. If you don't answer, you lose. At the end, I'm sure we will know who wins, and if we don't, it's a tie. If you win, we go to your shop, as you so want to
Interesting.
go so many times. If I win,
No
you
more than
take me
4,
to
but
some
continue.
place that it means something special to you, like this place means to me, and it cannot be your shop.
I accept your terms. This is a reasonable game.
Okay. And she'll think for a moment, and she'll look up at the priesthood. When was the last time that you looked at something truly beautiful and allowed yourself to just dream a bit, not thought of the next job or the next task at hand?
Honest answers only. No half-truths. That's the rules.
Honest. Yes, those are the rules. You must. I mean, you can lie, but if you lie, you lose.
Many days, especially recently, have I gazed on beautiful things. But it's been more than a decade since I've thought of anything besides work.
How sad.
Remarkably sad, or remarkably focused, depends on your perspective.
It's just sad. You should take some time and allow yourself to escape every now and then. Even if it's just a
escape?
moment.
To have conversations with friends, to look upon something beautiful here in the city, like I'm doing today. Is this not time for myself?
You are obviously still thinking about a job just a moment ago, so not quite your turn.
Sometimes the job can be a beautiful thing too.
Yeah, that does not count.
Adding rules, I see.
It's not a rule, it's just you're thinking about work, you're not dreaming of other things.
Fine, fine. I guess it is my turn. Nix, why are you here? I don't mean Dirge. Rhonda's. Why are you here? I've seen individuals down on their luck, scrounging for opportunity. That doesn't strike me from you. Why are you here?
I'm still not entirely clear on the question.
You don't fit the mold for someone working at Rhonda's.
Why am I at Rhonda's? I am at Rhonda's because I may not fit the mold, but I need the money and I can't live at home. And where else am I going to go? I don't have any other skills necessarily other than what I do for the cobblers. I don't want to be there, but that's where I am.
It's pretty clear that he's hanging on every reason to put together a much larger portfolio dossier of information as to why Nix is actually working there. There is a confusion as to why someone like Nix, like Nira, finds themselves in this employ.
Does that satisfy your answer, or do you want more?
Well, I think if I asked a follow-up, it would break the rules. So yes, it is more than satisfied. I believe it is your turn.
It is my turn. What is your name?
My name?
Your full
My name
name.
is Geist. You've called me Mr. Geist, but now that we are acquaintances, you may only call me Geist.
That is your full name, but you said your father was Mr. Geist, so was that the lie then?
Family. It's hard to think back on that. This wasn't part of your game, but I'll share something else with you. I don't speak to my family, or I should say, I can't speak to my family. It's been some time since their passing.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologize, it wasn't your fault.
It's still an unfortunate thing to lose family.
To lose family is to lose one's standing. To lose one's standing is to lose one's station, to lose one's hold on who they were. Since their passing, I am Geist. I have only been Geist, and I will continue to be Geist.
That is still not the answer there, is it?
I think the answer is what you've been given. Whether you accept it is up to you.
That is fair. I just feel like that's breaking the rules. You don't have to answer. It is your turn.
He stops. How many people are around us, Nathan? Like, what's happening in this, like, Notebook-esque moment? Like,
Where is the next destination?
She would be walking in the general direction of Geist shop / aimlessly walking.
Then there's the occasional honk of a Rossini
fucking hate these
car, a
things.
Model A car rolling down the street. Awooga, awooga, as it's just like rumbling past you.
you know they have to install that aftermarket. That's not what they come from stock. Someone purchased that horn.
We should just set them all on fire. I hate them.
There's a handful of pedestrians as well. At this point of the day, it's morning, it's midweek. It's a busy city, so there are people out and about, but it's not a packed time. You're keeping to main streets, but there's not a ton of foot traffic here. So your conversation is casual enough that no one is like stopping to try to listen in. You can modulate, you can kind of trail off and then pick up after passing someone. One other just detail, ambiance note I want to be sure I get in here is that as you pass an alleyway, your attention would be drawn to this alleyway because you hear hissing and yowling coming from it, like feral cats. But when you look in the alleyway, you see these two gangs of trash griffins just going at one another.
We have to pause the game and watch this.
Can we stop for a moment? I'd like to see how this ends.
Yes.
They're these house cat-sized griffins, just mangy, like matted fur, matted feathers. They've got claws. A couple of them have little shivs they've made out of broken pottery shards, and they're doing a full throwdown in this alleyway.
Do you think Nia would like one of those?
Surprisingly, I think you're right, actually. I also feel concerned. Should we be calling the authorities? This is a type of gang war so close to my shop.
You have both witnessed trash griffin gang wars before. It is not uncommon in the Dirge cityscape. Some cities have pigeons. Some cities have sewer rats. Dirge has trash griffins with shivs. So this plays out in front of you. And after some time, one of the trash griffin gangs, with much hissing and ruffling up their shoulders to make themselves still look tough, they eventually flutter up onto the gutter, the pipes going down the side of the walls, and scramble up to the rooftops and make their retreat. And the other trash griffins kind of puff out their chests and start congratulating one another, just nodding and headbutting and stuff. They'll look over and hiss at you a little bit, but they won't swarm you. They'll just kind of stake their claim in this
I'm having
alley.
a hat on as I tip it to the trash griffins in the alley as a token of respect.
Mix will take suit and curtsy.
The Southerlies have been moving up north. They've been gaining ground recently. I didn't expect to see the
Really?
turf war so close, but
I
it's getting out of
better
control.
watch out.
We're going to have to do something if they get out of hand.
They're getting quite creative with the weapons.
Did you see that they fashioned a shiv out of something? I think it was pottery.
It was impressive.
Tools. The next step in the evolutionary chain. I am concerned. They'll be driving small automobiles next week.
If that happens, I am setting everything up.
Oh, another one rumbles down.
Oh shit. So back to our game. Your name. Are you going to give it to me, or are you going to ask a question?
I gave you the name that I am, and the name that I have, and the name that I use. What more could you want from someone? You want something that they were given at birth, something they consider a dead name? Is that what you want from me?
No, of course not. If that's what you want to be, then that is what you shall be.
I'll offer you this, Nyx. It's not who I want to be. It's who I am.
Okay, your question.
We keep walking away from the trash griffin fight. Nyx, consider this a follow-up from my first question. Interpret it how you like. But can you think back on the last time that you were truly joyful? Where were you the last time you were truly happy?
That has never happened, Mr. Geist.
No
Sorry,
one
Geist.
deserves that. Yeah, thank you. But it's okay. Everyone deserves to be happy. That's remarkably unfortunate. And I'm sorry that you haven't found yours yet.
Patience, isn't it?
Sometimes we have to wait forever. But sometimes we need to know when to seize the opportunity for ourselves.
Isn't that what I'm doing? I say it's a tie, so to your shop you shall go, and then in a future day you shall bring me to some place of your choice.
I accept these terms. That sounds remarkably reasonable. But before we go, are you sure? You seem remarkably hesitant. I don't know if this is something maybe you have a a shopping problem, and I've stepped onto something much larger than I anticipated.
No, you're just unreasonably pushy about it, and every time you ask,
Again,
it's
it's
just I
been
want to
brought up
add another
maybe
day
4
before
times.
going. I think it's up to like 8 now. I swear, it's just like every time you ask, it multiplies by 2.
Well, I was never very good at math. Oh look, we're here.
Before you enter, we're gonna turn it to Nia and Rendo as they finish their walk of Tinker around the Cobbler's Cause, and can join the Truby brothers, Pete's wife Annabelle, the Truby mother Stacy for breakfast and strategy. Pete, well, first, Bill's face, in fact, does look quite bad. It's swollen, it's blue and purple and yellow. He obviously went at it and didn't care that he was in the line of fire for everyone else. So clearly some fisticuffs went down. At the breakfast table, as everyone is passing the fruit and the pancakes and all the rest, Pete would put down a parchment map of Dirge. This is a map that he has marked up in a red pen. He's circled approximately the different territories that different gangs in Dirge control. And he'll look to you, Nia, and he'll say, I know that you have a strategic head about you. I know you've been close with your grandfather for quite some time. So I'd be curious to know what we should be focusing on here. I know the goal is to destroy Molitor. Something I'm sure we can agree on that. But think about, that wasn't originally the point of the union of our families. That was foisted upon us by Molitor's aggression. Originally, we were to dream bigger. So, I will ask you, both for the immediate terms regarding Molitor and for the future of the whole city, what objectives should we set up? What should we be trying to achieve here?
I mean, I would like to see many other families dominated, surely, as you would, beyond just Molitor, considering what my family has gone through in the past. But I also recognize that nothing is built in a day. And I think our best strategy would be to spread as much as we could through Dirge for now, taking what we can, and if we can fan one direction, then it'll be easier to take over the other half. So I figure for now, the ingots seem to be reasonably willing to assist us, and while I wouldn't say we have claim over their territory by any means, I certainly think that we could at least consider them, friends.
A safe border.
Just so that I'm clear, Molitor has basically the lower half of Mire Depths, Bellowtown, and Molderville, or just Molderville?
All three, as you said, the lower half of Mire Depths, yeah.
I say we take what should be rightfully ours, and that of the ingots for that matter. I think we can lay claim to the southern Mire Depths as part of what is rightfully Cobbler's Cause, and then everything there else, we at the very least have the ingots on our side to try and fight back for, because they're going to be interested in that territory for themselves just as much.
Very good. Now that's a delicate proposition, as that's right next to one of the headquarters of the Dirge Police Department. So we'll need people on the inside. We'll need subtlety, will be the name of the game there for sure. Control over, I'm just thinking from my time studying history books, and Rendo, perhaps you'd have some insights here as a more military-oriented person yourself, but although I'm not actually sure your background, forgive me if that's a faulty assumption.
No, it's alright. I'm not best with planning things, mostly just told where to go, who to fight, when to clean up afterwards. But I do know Molitor, and I know how they think.
Right. You know them intimately, yes?
Not recently. Sorry, I'm from them. They made me. I didn't ask to be made. Didn't really know why I was. Was told I had a job. Several jobs. They always seemed kind of surprised when I came back afterwards.
That sounds like him.
Yeah. I met Geist, actually, at one of those jobs, and he told me there was other things I could do, so I just didn't go back.
Right. And we're all grateful for that. I do believe that the way they treat their summons is an abomination.
Never really knew others for too long. Mostly, like, maybe a job or two. Never see him again.
Right. As is the way of Molitor and those that they summon, Hellspawn and the like. Well, my inclination... So, Rendo, please, as you have had an inside view of Molitor, do feel free to speak up as we're strategizing here. My inclination is, if we're going to win a war, we need control over transportation. We need spies, we need control over information. We need people on the inside of other organizations that could benefit or detriment us. Of course, the Ingots being one of those, the Dirge Police Department being another. We need, potentially, depending on our assets in place regarding information flow and the like, we might need leverage of one kind or another to keep our spies and our informants ours. Potentially a way to smear Molitor in the light of the city, the common folk of the city, draw the public eye to the attention of Molitor. I do have an angle there that I'm working on. A reporter, I believe, will be of use. I'm trying to weigh the options of taking on Molitor and the city. And certainly a way to knock down the Banginos and the McDoverns a peg. Certainly we don't want Wilson McDovern in elected office. Nia, how did last night go? I know that Sheldon mentioned while you were walking your dog there. Sheldon mentioned that you had words that we needed to debrief and discuss and reevaluate.
Well, the walk there was a bit more difficult than I think anybody anticipated it to be, and we were attacked on the way there by Molitor, and it was pretty harrowing. I didn't think very kindly of you after the fact. Why we didn't take a car? Just gonna throw that out there, respectfully. But nevertheless, yeah, we're very fortunate that we were all able to walk away, but certainly not unscathed. And fortunately, we're able to leverage that attack to our benefit when we talk to the Ingots. They believe it was the McDoverns who attacked us, and so we've got them sort of in our back pocket to keep an eye on them as well. But yes, it was not good, Pete.
Don't mean to interrupt. There were 2 of the Molitor that did get away. Tried to go after him, but they had a head start too fast. So
I was around the corner at that point. I didn't see those, but thank you, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they've relayed some information to the higher-ups over there. They always seem to be one step ahead, and if they're not, they pretend that they are. I don't like leaving loose ends, but can't be helped sometimes.
Sometimes it can, and loose ends can be turned into assets if played correctly, as Nia herself has proved in the way that you took initiative and handled the aftermath of that unfortunate incident. I'm rather impressed with how it sounds that you made what's the expression the kids are using now? Lemonade out of lemons. Your capacity to take an ambush, turn it into an asset that helped you negotiate with our former enemies to make them now our allies and sick them on our other enemies, that is a stroke of brilliance, Nia.
Well, I had quite a bit of help, that is for sure. I was a bit shaken up, if I'm being honest, when I was starting things, but I think you have found a pretty good crew, to say the least, here. Mr. Geist and the others were quite helpful. That Nyx woman, she was very, very compelling, very good.
She's a great dancer.
I'm very glad to hear it.
Lemons out of lemonade, is that really what they're saying? I mean, we just drank vodka when I was coming up, so I don't quite understand.
Lemonade out of lemons, Nia. Other way around.
Lemons out of lemonade. Okay, got it.
Lemonade out of lemons.
I've never had lemonade. It sounds rather sour.
No. Apparently it's quite delightful. I've never had it myself, but that's what I've heard from some of the other non-Truby cobblers, younger fellows, they were talking about it.
That's precious. It's precious.
Yeah, apparently there's like stands on the side of the road where you can buy it. I don't know.
Fascinating. The ingenuity of children.
Well, keep an eye out. I've only had lemons in food, never in a drink. Curious.
Right, yes.
Right. So, taking over the city.
Yes,
We,
taking over the city.
Oh, and your requests, of course. Automobile, I will look into that. Regarding other things to make the various activities safer, you say it sounds as though the team worked well together. I'd like to continue to utilize that, if that's your assessment.
Most definitely. You might have to do some convincing to that Nyx and her Craigory friend, but I would say that she
I'm
seems
not
rather
worried about
compelled
Craigory.
she seems compelled by you enough that I think that you could convince her and he'll do anything that she does, so.
Right, well, I'll be sure to have a word with both of them. I do believe that it will not be terribly difficult to convince them to continue to operate alongside you.
Absolutely. And if Nyx needs any convincing, tell her that she's welcome to come by my house and I will, woman to woman, I'll have a chat with her.
Very well, very well. And in regards to your safety and the other matters that you were alluding to, that the car is something I will certainly look into. That's going to be a little bit difficult, but I should be able to procure one for you. In regards to other safety measures, I can certainly arm you all up with guns and ammunition.
Perfect.
They're not military grade. I do believe that our relationship with the ingots will bear fruit in that regard, but they're certainly better than going in with a thought and a prayer on your side.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always in favor of having both defensive and offensive measures at hand.
Very well. So you were on the ground last night. You saw the abilities of each of your companions. What kind of job do you anticipate bearing the most fruit in regards to beating or containing Molitor, especially looking at that real estate in Maya Depths?
Are you meaning, is this a party that's going to be more of a muscle or a mouthpiece?
Yeah, I mean, there's more options than merely those two, but we'll start there. Start broad.
Sure. I would definitely say, probably the latter. Everyone did a great showing as best they could, but like I said, those who did get affected were hit hard. I am worried about Craigory in some ways, and he looked a bit shocked after the aftermath, I would say, but I think in a pinch, if having to maybe talk our way out of something, all could be very, very useful. There's a great gift of gab amongst this group, I would say.
Yeah, Craigory had a bow and arrow. I haven't seen
He did. He did have a bow and arrow, didn't he? And he got shot in the face.
Don't see many of those around.
With a shotgun, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was a great shot with a bow,
sprayed.
but just
Yeah.
not super conventional. Might need some firearm training. I don't know if that's something you guys do.
We should at the very least get him equipped with something a little less archaic, I would say, for the purposes of our dealings.
So Rendo starts that cascade. Craigory had a bow and arrow, and then you both go off on that for a while. And during that whole diatribe, Pete just blank face stares at both of you. After a moment, he does that blink meme, and then he says, "I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that."
I know you would. Thank you, Pete.
So, mouthpiece, great. Gathering information, befriending / as needed, extorting members of the police department and other notable individuals in Maya Depths, doing reconnaissance within Bellowton. Certainly not Molderville. That's definitely a muscle piece. It's where they're at their strongest.
Good to know. I feel like if we can take Maya Depths first, I realize that puts us in a delicate position, like you said, because of the police department. But, where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm sure that we could find some sort of way to make friends where we need it. But it just seems like the smartest play, considering either that or Bellowton. But I don't know.
Very well. I'm in agreement with you on that. I'm asking where there's a will, there's a way, yes. But let's get down to specifics here.
Oh.
Do you think that your party is up for For example, I'm not saying yes or no to this, but befriending police officers, learning what kind of leverage you might be able to pull to keep them in your pocket, and then reminding them who's in charge and utilizing that when the time is right. Or scouting out southern Mire Depths, northern Belloton, finding Molitor hideouts, retreating, preferably without engaging in combat, reporting back their whereabouts, speaking with people on the ground, finding information brokers, learning more about what's going on there, speaking with shop owners, getting, the protection racket going so that they're reporting back to us both in terms of money and information instead of anyone else. These are the kinds of specific tasks that I'm looking for.
I see what you're saying. I mean, honestly, I think that everybody could kind of be suited for some fashion of all of those, but I think the first part would be an excellent way to start, to get the police in our pocket, and we definitely have the people to do that. I think that
Certainly makes the rest a lot easier too.
for sure, definitely. I think if we could have maybe Nick's work some sort of dealings with Rhonda, and I'm sure there are some officers that frequent that establishment. I'm sure Craigory could dig up some dirt on any of the others who think they are walking around with the cleanest of noses. Probably the same, I would think, for Mr. Geist. He's got some strange things in his shop that I'm willing to bet that he's got some dirt and receipts behind his counter on some of them.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That sounds like an excellent plan then.
I do have a bar in my Depths. Before I got this job, I found
I'm
that
sorry,
one.
what?
I always forget. You bring that up
Bury in
often,
the
and I
weeds.
always forget that yes, you have you still own it, or do you just like lease it out, or what?
I'm not really sure. When I'm not there, there's people there who keep it running. Someone else owns the building, said he didn't want responsibility of it anymore.
So you just like
So-
make the schedule out and make sure that there's coverage.
Yeah, it's weird. Not really my
That
forte.
is weird.
It's very
Yeah,
strange.
but it's a space if we need
we love
a
hangout.
grouping spot there in my Depths.
If it's in my Adepts and it's yours-ish, then it seems like that's a great base of operations for you and your companions here. Go ahead and make sure that the schedule is cleared of other business so that you and your friends can set up shop there. It's also a great source of rumors, I'm sure, especially as close to the police department as it is. I'm sure that's something you can work if you have it up and running, as well as being a base for people to recover or rest overnight as needed.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent
Very
idea.
good. All right. Well, who wants pancakes? I'm starving.
What are pancakes?
Oh, Rendo, you are in for a treat, my friend.
A treat? Okay.
And we'll leave the Truby family here, and we'll transition to Redline Press, where, Craigory, what are you up to today?
I'm just trying to get my face around the office, let people know that I'm there. At least. I will stop by Amy's office, desk, whatever it may be. Sorry, what was the guy's name? The president guy who I'm supposed to, fix that thing?
Yes.
The candidate?
Yes, so there were rumors circulating that Frank O'Brien,
Yes.
who's one of the candidates, was in cahoots with Molitor, and Pete had expressed to you that these rumors were planted by the Cheeky Cobblers and were not actually true. That, in fact, Frank O'Brien is working with the Cheeky Cobblers. That part, of course, Pete would want not to be spread everywhere. But
Right.
he wants you to try to put to rest the rumor that is beginning to circulate about Frank's affiliation with Molitor.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make my way over to Amy's desk and I'll be like, Amy, how you doing? How's the reporting been lately? Anything good going on with the elections right now?
Yeah, so Amy is a Radine. She looks more or less human, but her eyes are just like the color of copper. There's a little bit of texture there, like you can tell where the iris and pupil would be, but they're all kind of like metallic like sheens. Otherwise, that's like the big kind of noteworthy characteristic that sets her apart as non-human, or born to human but transformed into Radiant somehow. She will look up at you, Craigory, and say, "Oh, wonderful to see you. Yes, there's quite a lot going on. It's actually really exciting. Have you heard that Marissa O'Reilly Dove has announced that she will be visiting Dirge in 3 weeks as part of her presidential tour? I think she's going to be giving some exciting public appearances. I'm sure she's going to want to give speeches to various individuals across and people groups across the city. I'm sure she's going to go on a whole speaking tour there. She's probably also going to go to the Capitol and have meetings behind closed doors with some of the other people of her party, because of course you know that she did used to, or I mean she's a termed out 3-time senator, right? So she's going to want to kind of make sure that the gears are greased there. She'll probably want to talk with the opposition a little bit and try to suss out what their angle is. So yes, quite a lot going on. How are you doing today?
Curry's eyes glazed over a little bit, and he kind of steps back. He's like, I'm doing all right. It's been quite the time. You know, there was you heard about that wedding that happened the other day, right?
I did. You were in attendance, right? Tell me about that. It was the Cheeky Cobblers, I think, were in charge of it, and it happened at which one of the priesthoods was officiating it? Was it Pekesh or Tovere? Remind me, please. What and who did you meet there? Did you make any new connections?
It was a Tovere temple. It was gorgeous. It was just absolutely gorgeous. You know, there was a lot of really powerful people there. Some candidates. Amelia Severs was there as well, which was,
They let her out of house arrest. I've been trying for so long to get an interview with her, but the arresting officer always turns me away.
You wouldn't have been able to even get at her table, much less within 3 feet of her to be able to talk to her. She was so heavily guarded at all times. No one got to talk to her, really. Not that I saw.
That's disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
Who else was there? You said that there were multiple noteworthy individuals there?
Yeah, we had a Rivier Foe.
A Robier Foe, of course.
Foe. Yes. A Robier Foe was there. I mean, other candidates, so many people, many family members, of course. I did hear, I kind of look around at her. I did hear something interesting while I was there.
Scoop? She leans in.
Just for you. You know, there's been those rumors going around that O'Brien's been working with Molitor, right?
Yeah, that is what I heard. And Molitor, they're an ancient organization, right? Dating back to even, was it before the terror or after? I'm a little rusty on my global history, but anyway, yes, I do know who you're talking about. So there's something about them being connected with Frank O'Brien?
That's what I've been hearing, and I did hear some murmurs at the wedding that is very much not the truth.
It's not. There's an uncharacteristic pause. And then she kicks into high gear again. Who did you hear that from? Who were you talking to when you heard that? Or did you overhear it from someone else? Or is this secondhand information or firsthand? Who did you heard it from? Frank O'Brien himself wasn't there last I heard. I think he had some other event that it was counter-programming the wedding, kind of saying no to the whole criminal activity thing with the cobblers being less than legal a lot of the times, but taking up the place of the holy Temple of Tovere. So a little bit of a mixed messages thing going on there.
It's wow. He's trying to catch up with what she's saying. He's like, it was just murmurs I heard. I was on the dance floor, of course, and
as you always are, you always have such good moves. Were you wearing the heels or just the dance shoes?
Yes.
Just my regular shoes. They had to go with the suit, not the dancing heels that night. Those were for Rhonda's for another time, Amy. You know that.
Of course. Always a good place. Always a good time when those come out.
Those are
so you were wearing your dancing shoes, or your regular shoes. You were on the dancing floor because the shoes had to go with the suit. And you overheard murmurs.
Yes, they said there were people talking about it because, there was big names in the election there. People were showing face to really show up and show out. And I heard, I don't know who it was, but I heard multiple people saying that O'Brien was working with the Molitor, and then they were saying, no, that's not true. He's not working with them at all.
Fascinating. All right, well, I'll have to get to the bottom of this. I do have a contact over in Belloton. That's where I got my hair done last time, a barber that's opened up shop recently, so I'll double check with him and see what he's heard on the street lately. Always a good source of information. I've always had reliable tips from him, which has been really nice. Thank you for telling me this. If anything comes down the pipe that might be of interest to you, I'll definitely slip that over your way as well, of course.
Yeah, why don't you send me that barber's name? I've been going to Bluffstone Heights, and I feel like I'm getting charged way too much where I go.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. You're looking a little unkempt. Oh my goodness. Is that a scratch under your hair there? Are you okay? That looks fresh.
Oh, I ran into a trash griffin on the way here.
Oh, those are getting out of hand.
Yeah, it was
yes,
crazy.
I saw a three-way smackdown the other day in the public park. It was wild. And then there was a stray dog that they started chasing through the streets. It was a terrible time. The dog got away, thankfully. Anyway, the barber's name was, let me see, I have it written down here. Lucas Howie. Lucas Howie.
Lucas Howie. Great. Beautiful. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Craigory. Always wonderful catching up. We should get lunch one of these days. I want to hear how your family's been.
Oh, of course. I'd love to. You know, we've got tons of catching up to do. I'd love to tell you how Tristan's doing and how, my parents are as well.
Well, I'll look forward to it. I'll get back to my story and let you do the same. Thank you again for this tip. It's going to be very enlightening.
Yes,
She'll
of
turn and
course.
start clattering away on her typewriter.
Of course. Craigory walks away and he's like, all of the confidence he had going into that conversation just drops and he just like walks away. His hands start shaking. He's just like, in his head, he's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Craigory, what are you doing? And he walks away, very nervous, goes to his desk and tries to collect himself a little bit.
Yeah. Is there any story that you are actively working on yourself over the day, or are you kind of between those right now with the wedding having just been published?
The wedding was his big one for the week for sure. Anything else is just filler fluff pieces, going-ons around town, a new shop opened up in Green Banks, that kind of a thing. Nothing very major right now.
Got that
Yeah,
too.
makes sense.
Where did it open at? What do they sell?
Let's talk about this new shop.
Did you tell Nyx? Because she's looking for a new shop to go to.
It's a restaurant. They do pancakes and hot sauce. They call them hotcakes.
And nice.
And lemonade, I think.
Lemonade.
Lemonade.
It's all the rage.
Lemons.
And a salad.
Lemonade.
Didn't realize we had so much citrus.
As the shift comes, or I guess you were just trying to pop in and make face, right? So that you could leave and people would know that you're still out and about, like gathering stories and whatnot.
Yeah, he goes to his desk, he calms down a little bit, collects his things, does a little bit of writing. He'll gather up his things again and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go, I don't know, get some leads or something. Reporter things. He doesn't say that.
You know how it is.
Right, you know how it is. Yeah, he'll leave, he makes his way out of the building, he stops by some convenience or liquor store, grabs a bottle of wine, and he wants to make his way to the library to get a head start on the research that he's doing, because he's also a archivist as well.
Yes. Perfect. We'll turn back to the Whispering Winds at this point with Geist and Nyx. What all is going on there?
Well, Geist is going through the process of opening up, unlocking, getting everything ready to go. So as they come in and he starts his business, right, getting everything presentable, he would look to Nyx and say, I'll need a few moments to get everything prepared. Feel free, look around, peruse to your heart's content. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know.
Oh, absolutely. Nyx is going to realize that everything in here is curated as to where it's put for a reason.
100%.
She's going to pick things up like she's looking at it and walk like an aisle down and place it somewhere else. So she's going to be regularly taking
You're a bad
things
person.
and just purposefully putting them in a place that does not make sense for them. Like, she's being deliberate about where she's putting these just because. And then eventually, I'm sure she will find some books and get distracted.
I'd go so far as to say that at a certain point, Geist would head up a staircase, not terribly far back behind the counter, and head up into the loft area. So if you really wanted to get in some trouble, he would probably leave you alone for probably no more than a minute or two, but he needed to run upstairs and put something away.
I think she would actually behave.
Wow.
But, I mean, she would be looking at some of the unique things in here, actually paying attention. But she would not go behind the counter. She would not look into anything right now.
Now, Nathan, when I went upstairs, I was checking to see, just to confirm that nothing had been moved, no one had been here, and any of my notes, letters, or ciphers from the Gentleman Brigands have been moved from their hiding places within the room itself. Carved out, hollowed desk area, talking about inlets within books, things dispersed in and around the private apartment. He just wants to do a quick check. We had an issue last night. Make sure nobody
Right.
was here that wasn't supposed to be here.
Yep, and you're getting here a little bit after normal opening hours as well. So
Yeah.
when you got to your shop, it was locked. The lock appeared to be completely untampered with. There was no sign of force or duress on the door. I'd like for you to make an intellect check and an awareness check as you're going about this search. And we'll cut back to Nyx in a second, but Nyx, I will be asking for a luck check as you're browsing.
Intellect is going to come up to a 17. And would you allow
All right.
investigating for my awareness?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Ooh,
And a
nice.
22
Nice.
for investigating.
Okay. So as you are going about your business, I imagine you have a couple, like, very small tells that would be ways for you to quickly tell if someone has been in as well. Like things that I'm trying to think of kind of a mundane security system that someone might not notice that they had tripped as they go through. Like something more subtle than a book falling, like when a door is moved. But as you're going about the upper floors, you see everything exactly as it should be. You don't get any tension or offness in the air. It doesn't seem that any of the furniture has been moved. You can never be sure, right? But if someone did, they were by far and away one of the best in the business, because if someone was here, everything is exactly as you left it.
Understood. I'm going to make sure that I grab the cipher that Jacques had given me most recently, and I'm going to have that on my person, just to, that'd be what I'll be working on today as I'm heading back downstairs to see what Nyx is looking at in the store.
Before,
I was gonna say, do you want that luck check?
yeah, I want the luck check first.
It's a 22.
So as you are browsing Nyx, you're, especially because you're deliberately putting things where they don't belong. As you're going through the different public rooms with their used bookstore energy, like tight bookshelves and different wares on them and everything, you would pass by a cushioned chair on the northwest side over by the unlit fireplace. And you would find in the back of that chair a what looks like a needle with a little thorn attached to it in some capacity, almost a decorative brooch or maybe part of like some other kind of jewelry. And you would find a duplicate of that, the exact same thing, tucked between books closer to the front of the store and stashed just under the windowsill down on the southern end of the store.
She would collect them.
Okay.
She would 100% collect them.
Fair. You do see that they clip together, and you can tell now that it's an earring.
So, is there anything particularly that you find interesting? Something I can help you find? Or if you're just looking, that's fine.
You know, I was perusing, and I found a bunch of pieces to what I believe is a piece of jewelry.
Interesting. Let's see it then.
She'll show you. She'll put it right on the counter. Do you think somebody lost these?
To confirm, Nathan, I didn't know these were here. They were not there the last time I checked the shop, correct?
That's correct.
Well, that is a remarkably fine piece of jewelry. May I ask where you found it? Did you find it pieced together like that, or did you find that dispersed amongst my store? Sometimes people move things around here without asking.
Who would do that? There was a piece over in the sofa, and I found one between some books, and, you know, I've just been looking, and I just kept finding pieces, and it felt a bit odd. I figured you might like them all together.
First things first, Nathan, can I get an intuiting check on Nyx to see if it looks like she knows what she's holding?
Yes on the check, and whether you know or not, I'll leave up to Andy.
Okay.
To 23 intuiting.
Okay. Uncommon magic item, accessory, clothing.
I think she would know what this was.
Right. Makes sense.
Oh, well, thank you for gathering it, putting it all back together. Is it something you'd be interested in, or just doing your good deed for the day in gathering this and bringing it back up to the front?
I mean, what would you prefer I do? Just steal it? Or did you have it placed in an individual's spot in intention? I'm sorry, did I ruin some kind of thing you had going on here?
No, things get moved out of place here quite regularly. It's quite the tactile experience for my customers. They oftentimes engage with the paraphernalia that I sell here, move it around, try it out. I oftentimes encourage individuals to grab a book and post up by the corner, reading in that chair. You're more than welcome to do that if you ever are looking to find any unique or rare tomes.
Well, I didn't know that, but I will look at the books. So you're saying that this earring was not yours?
Well, It's hard to keep track of everything in my inventory.
Well, then
but
I'll just
if
take
it's here, I'm sure it's here for a good reason. He trails off as Nyx is saying that.
I mean, it sounded like you said it wasn't yours, and I found it, so, I mean, by all intents and purposes, it is mine.
It's a good practice. I think I'll start doing that whenever I walk into stores myself. Finding objects, and then
Asking
seeing
the
if
store
they-
owner if it's theirs, and then if they say no, saying it's yours.
No, if they recall where they placed it last, and if they can't answer, then walking out with it.
So are you saying I can't have this?
If you want it, take it, it's yours.
Thank you. Did you want to show? You've been asking me to come here for a while, so I figured you'd have something to show me, and you kind of just walked away upstairs and left me here.
For the record, I'd like to get one thing crystal clear. I mentioned that I owned a shop once. From there, everything was hyperbole.
And then you mentioned you had trousers, and you mentioned that you had
Are you in the
a gun
Are you in the market for
holster.
trousers? I have all of these things if you're in the market, but I'm worried about showing them to you, for you might just take them.
I mean, only if you give them to me, I asked.
Well, do we start with the trousers or do we start with the gun holster?
Are they in different places? I figured they'd be in the same place as they're both wearable items.
Yeah, well, very different sizes. No. Different energies, different vibes. And he points over to a section where there's literally 12 pants. He doesn't sell pants, right? But pants have made their way in random things that get dropped off. This is not a clothing store. But he's got odds and ends and random
All right,
things.
so maybe
Think,
not the trousers.
Consignment, right?
I might
Yeah.
just look at books while you do whatever the hell you need to do.
Well, the day of a shop owner is remarkably boring, actually. I oftentimes just stand here and wait for customers. It's not
That's
that glamorous,
dreadful.
but there are worse things to do with one's time.
Like what?
I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure they exist.
Okay, well, I mean, I can keep you company for a short amount of time. I have to meet Craigory in a little bit, but
Here, would you like me to wrap that up for you?
no, I'll just wear it.
Very well, if you insist. Feel free. And he goes over, pointing out, what types of books are in what parts of the store. Points out a couple of the key items as well, if Nyx is interested, things that were most recent. I think there'd be a brief conversation asking Nyx if they're interested in source cards at all, because they've recently come into a remarkably large surplus of source
Oh,
cards.
you did? Of course.
Yes, more than I find
Do you have the
myself
very
able
rare
to
full
do with-
art book of Telve?
Oh, you a collector then?
Of sorts.
I have yet to come across the card of Telve themselves, but I have found a book. If you're interested in seeing it, I'd be more than happy to show you.
Yes, at some point. It's got to be the special art one, not the normal one. I have the normal one. I need the rare one.
Yes, the secret hollow rare foil, of course, I know.
Duh. All right, well, if you have that, yes. I've actually been looking for something in particular lately. Book on the Shadowcroft. I'm sure you're familiar
I have a
with
handful
some of the
of those,
history
yes.
there. Yes, I've been perusing for some information for some of its history and some of the individuals that came from Shadowcroft. Do you think you have anything in that realm?
Well, I can guarantee that I have something basic on the information. If
Yeah, I'm
you are
sure
looking for
that's not what I'm
something
looking for.
particular, I feel fairly confident that I have connections and could find what you're looking for if you would like to put in a special order.
No, that's okay. I'll just look at what you have here and see if I can find what I'm looking for now. And Nathan, this is a you question.
Mhm.
Do you think any of these books would have the information she's looking for?
I don't think they would.
Okay. She'd sit for a little bit and just do idle chatter as she's looking through the indexes of these books. No. I don't think any of these were what I needed, but thank you.
Well, I'll keep my eye out. If I find something that I believe could potentially be of interest, I'll be sure to put it on hold for you.
I would appreciate it. I don't think there is, but I like to keep my eye out. Maybe I'll just take a pair of trousers. I don't know if Ruby will care which. And be on my way to find Craigory. I'm sure he could use me right now.
Well, I will say this. It was a very enjoyable morning. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to connect, learn a little bit more about each other. I apologize if you were not satisfied with the answers to your questions, but know that that is the best that I can offer at this time, though I look forward to getting to know you more.
Maybe you will open up.
Maybe. Tell Craigory hi for me. I hope they're doing okay.
Do you have wine here? This doesn't seem like a wine place, but I think I should ask.
Well, I
before
don't sell
stop.
it, but I have some upstairs.
I promised Craigory a bottle of wine. That's okay. I'll find one. Never mind. I'll tell him you said hello, I guess. You owe me that place, so think carefully of where you're going to bring me. You know where to find me. Goodbye.
Have a good day, Nix.
I want to follow Nyx through the streets a little bit, but as Nyx departs, I'd like to spend just a moment with Geist alone in his shop now, if there's any other actions that you wish to take.
Where there's 1, there's 3. Where there's 3, there's 9. So immediately begins to look through this place for bugs, see what he can find. He will be less concerned with things getting moved out of place, because I think he fully believes that people do that all the time. That's really normal shopper behavior. So the fact that Nyx has moved some things, sure, that can be taken care of, but is looking to see what else has been planted, what else has been bugged in this place, not assuming that Nyx has found everything.
All right. Because you're actively doing it, I'll take another investigating check from you.
It's only going to be a 14.
All right. Well, you find 3 more hidden in a variety of clever fashions. One of them is stuck down into the soil where the emotion sensing plant is, just in its pot. Just like the thorn is barely peeking over. It looks like it's part of the plant almost. One of them is stuck like a pin through a shirt, but in some of the curtains hanging over the northern window in your shop. And the third you would find tucked into the spine of a book on like close to the window looking out to the back alley on the west side.
He's going to be remarkably cautious and delicate as he's collecting these, and he is going to move them into, this may not make a ton of sense, but stay with me on this one. He's going to move them into a removed corner of the store, away from the loft area, away from the front door, away from where the counter is, someplace that you really have to go and be intentional if you're sitting there, right? Okay. So that there is still going to be ambient noise that is picked up through these, but so that he can control how far away and how near he is to these.
All right. Very good. Let's turn now to Nyx making her way through the streets of Dirge alone.
Alone.
In broad daylight. It's mid-afternoon.
Alone.
You can easily stop at a nearby liquor store and get a bottle of wine to take to the library. I would like to ask, there's a couple different options for research centers, libraries, where you might meet up. One would be in the downtown district, just a giant public library. Not the most aesthetically appealing building. It's got kind of a nice street front, but once you're inside, it's very just old carpet, metal shelves that clearly need like a good dusting. It's a library. It's got information. It's got books. It's got some archives. There's an abundance of knowledge there. It's just not a great place to hang out. There'd be like a city hall that has some of the public records of Dirge and of Falth from the past several hundred years, in addition to a small library of historical and political matters globally. Not as broad of information, but likely a lot more up-to-date and current and specifically helpful information regarding the city itself. There'd also be university libraries in Prosperity Heights, Bluffstone Heights, Capitol Hill, the rich areas, which would have an abundance of both, but which you might raise some eyebrows if people notice you and clock you as being out of place, or if someone asks for your like student ID and you're like,
We're not showing up to the universities with our box wine and our
right.
That's what they do nowadays, though.
That's true. It actually might fit.
They mix it with lemonade.
Right.
Yes.
Oh no.
I mean, I'm a graduate of Faux University. I don't think it's too weird for me to be there.
There you go. That's true.
Should we be closer so we don't have to walk as far? Or do we want to go be bougie for a day?
I don't know if they're going to really let us into the Faux University library with the wine. That might be, these other libraries. Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess it's a matter of convenience then.
Let's start at the closest one.
Yeah. Let's make a good trip of it.
So, yeah, whatever one would be closest so that if they research late, it would not be a big trip in the dark.
Right. That'd probably be the one that is in downtown. So just the public library.
They won't care if we bring wine in. Let's be serious.
Right.
Who's gonna pay attention?
Okay, perfect. So that conversation happened this morning before you separated. So, Nix, after stopping in at a liquor store and making your way back to the major streets, while you are still in the North Green Banks area, kind of close to Meyer Depths, you're probably going to go back to the main street and then hail down like a cab to
No.
take the...
Walking.
Yeah, you don't want to walk that whole... You do want to walk that whole distance?
She does not like cars. How far is
Okay.
it? Are we talking like hours?
Yeah, we're talking like a solid hour to 2 hours. You could take a train.
Oh, she'll take a train. Yeah, she'll take a train. We trust trains.
Alright.
We don't touch cars.
Fair. Okay, that's perfect. So as you're leaving from the Whispering Winds and heading up to the train station, which will deposit you actually very close to the public library after a short ride across the city. As you're headed to the train station, you would see a commotion on the side of the street. You'd see police cars parked sideways in the street, cordoning off an area. You would see flags that have been set up. They have little like tripods to hold themselves up, and they're like yellow flags. It's like the equivalent of police caution tape. They don't have that yet. And you would see a bunch of the guys in gray standing around and looking at this obvious, horrible, pretty grotesque looking crime scene. Just a body on the side of the road. Looks like they dragged him out from the alley a little bit, put him on a stretcher. And, would Nyx be drawn to this, or would she try to just head down, walk past it?
Nyx can't keep her business out of it. Oh, she's just in everything. Of course she'd be
Uh-huh.
interested.
Okay.
Though I do think she would not insert herself as she normally does.
Okay.
She would get into a place where she could easily duck out of vision if necessary.
Okay. There's a handful of other spectators that a couple of the cops are kind of keeping back.
Yeah, so
but they're not...
She'd get in the crowd. She'd get where she can't really be seen or pinpointed
Okay.
out. And then she would try to get in the mind of the lead investigator.
Okay.
So she'd have to be within 20 feet.
Okay.
It's a charisma attack against their willpower. That is a 15.
That will be enough. You're in his head. So is that surface thoughts?
Surface
what?
thoughts.
Surface
And
thoughts.
he's not aware of it at all.
Okay. So he is, and you would hear a couple of the other cops over the course of this interaction. You'd hear the cops refer to him as Officer McMurray. So McMurray is concerned, trying to keep the situation under control. He's annoyed at the spectators, but he's not going to attempt to interfere with them in any way. You can just tell that he's like doing his best and failing to ignore their presence. So that's gotten under his skin a little bit. He's kind of irritated, but he's trying to focus on the body. He's got a notepad out. He's taking notes about like the cause of death or possible things, reporting the different like injuries that he can witness visually. And you can't like see through his eyes or anything, right? So you couldn't see what he's writing down.
No, I could just get what's passing across his head.
Yeah, as he's writing it down, you'd get glimpses of each of the items that he's putting down. Yeah, okay. So this victim, human, found in possession of a Molitor cloak. Murder weapon, unsure. Clothing in tatters, as though slashed multiple times. And the injuries themselves, there's like a pause here, kind of a mire as he's trying to figure out how to articulate it, a haze, a fog over his mind. But after a minute, he starts scribbling, and you get like the words in stop motion fashion as he's writing stuff down. A couple times you get a word through like the letters he spells out instead of the word itself,
Right.
but you're able to get the whole process. So
Because very phonetically, it's infuriating.
so he writes down, paper cuts give very, very thin cuts where there's just a tiny little gap in the skin. Causes blood to bead up in tiny little bits to seep through because of how narrow and how exact the cut is. This person obviously has not been paper cutted, but they seem to have been cut like that, but deeply. a few dozen times.
That would unsettle the shit out of her, and she would continue on her way. That would be the
Okay.
point where she disconnect. We're not listening anymore. Moving on.
All right. And after that, you're able to make it into the train station, hop on a train, runs every probably 30 minutes between these stations within the city. So you're able to hop over to downtown and connect with Craigory in the public library.
Yo, there was a death. He got paper cut to death.
What? Who?
It's not paper cut. There was I don't know. It was up in Geist shop. Suspicious, right? And I don't know. There's a dead body, and it was like paper cuts, but not paper cuts, but deeper. And that's all I got.
What else did you see? Craigory's writing all of this down immediately. As soon as she said there was a murder, writing it down.
Just lots of police.
Okay.
I didn't really want to pay much more attention after the whole paper cut to death thing.
How'd you get that? Did you see it?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh, paper cut to death.
I'm gonna open the wine. Yeah, store for you. Look into it. I guess. Do you think it was the lawkeeper again? I think it was somebody in Molitor. They had Molitor cape. Like the guy with the fantastic makeup. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see if he had the makeup though.
Okay.
It was a human.
Jeez. A human. Okay. Interesting.
The lead officer, McMurray, was also a human. He was a dark-skinned, very well put together, big cop stash and like short curly hair.
The lead investigator had an excellent mustache.
Oh,
I
really?
think his name was McMurray or something. I didn't really catch too much of it. I don't know. I know Geist suggested you write about the lawkeeper, so
Gonna have to follow up with McMurray then, it seems.
yeah, I'm sure he won't question that at all.
Well, I mean, not for me. I'm just reporting on the murder that I heard about.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good angle. I didn't think about that. I don't know, I'm stupid today. All right. How was your day? What did you do?
Nothing. I was useless at work. I got some wine. Pull out the
I
bottle that
got
he
mine
got.
too.
Look at that.
What are we looking for? I have to look into Stephen, because if I don't have any information on Foe and Stephen before I have to go do this, it's going to go horribly.
Yeah, I need to get any kind of information I can.
Okay, what are we looking for? What are you looking for? Anything general? Any specific person?
I need
You
to
can look up on Nia.
Yeah, I need to look into these families. I
Okay.
need to look into the Cordines. I need to look into Truby's more about the Cobblers. Anybody I can.
Severs, don't forget the Severs.
Severs too.
I tried to get Geist's name today, but
Look into
that didn't
Geist.
work.
Just anything with Geist.
Maybe we can see how long ago he bought his shop.
Oh, check the records. That's a good idea.
Let's
Alright,
pour
let's
a couple
go.
glasses of wine and get into it. Yeah, and they're both archivists, so we'll be using archivist profession to...
Yeah, remind me with the rank 1, it's like 8 hours you can uncover.
Any information
Anything
known to the
publicly
public.
available?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I think Geist's ownership of the Whispering Winds would be readily available. Roger, if you have an answer for how long that's been.
He purchased it about 5-ish years ago. Yeah.
Regarding the Severses, I mean, it's a lot of information. There's tons of information there, right? They're an old family. But of the most pertinence, I think you'd both be aware of this, but it would be helpful to revisit the specifics of the downfall of the Severses a few years ago, a couple dozen years ago. Their downfall would have begun about 30 years ago with Amelia Severs being the president and trying very hard to pull off some openly corrupt shenanigans. She easily got found out. And when Arobier Foe was re-elected president after her, this would have been his third term, the first Falthic president to serve a third term after waiting the appropriate amount of time. He would have hired a team of investigators, notably Carlo Frangino. This was his story that made his career, to investigate the crimes of the Severs family. With the Severs family investigation, that led many of them to be locked up in the pit, the prison that is in Mire Depths over in the northwest of the city. So most of the Severses, as far as you're aware, are still under lock and key. Many more went into hiding and scattered throughout the city or throughout the country or even other countries adjacent to Belth. Obviously, there is still a core backbone of Severses that are out of jail and in Dirge, but they're to some degree, they're in hiding or trying to stay under the radar. Amelia Severs herself, of course, is under house arrest now. Would there be any other specific information you're looking for?
I want to see if I can find, like, family records of the Cordines and see what, from what I overheard with the ingots, see what name could possibly be tied with the Cordines as well, and see what connections there.
Yeah. So the Cordiahines married into the Severses one generation ago. Nia's dad married into the Severs family. Clarissa, Nia's mother, is one of the Severses. She's the niece of Amelia Severs.
Okay.
So, public record family tree information. Amelia Severs has a brother named Jonathan Severs III, named after the Jonathan Severs that was elected president many, many years ago. Jonathan Severs' daughter is Clarissa Severs. Clarissa Severs' husband is Dexter Cordiahine, and they together have many sons and Nia.
Got it. All right.
There would not be any other specific ties to anything that you heard last night.
Okay. Or would there be any information on even just like a article snippet about the Lord Keeper, anything like that?
Give me a luck check.
Okay. Oh, it was almost a crit.
No.
That's a 9.
You would not find anything about the Lord Keeper.
I also want to pick up something similar to like Guns for Dummies.
Nice. The title is You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid.
Right. I also am now realizing that when I was leaving Rhonda's this morning and Tristan's like, is everything okay? I'm carrying a heavy rifle with me. Like, I just have a gun. She's like, is everything fine? Nothing. Everything's all right. I'm just a little tired. Gun.
We'll turn to Nyx's investigations. Can you remind me exactly what you were looking for?
Yeah, she's looking into Geist. She's looking into Steven.
Oh, right.
We're looking for, like, this era's Facebook page. Like, she's just trying to figure out things he'd want to talk about, things she could lean into. So, like, news articles, clippings, a yearbook photo. Who
Sure.
the fuck is Steven?
I think with your, with the archivist profession, it would take pretty much the full 8 hours, but you would find a brief, like, shred of insight into Geist that he has had dealings with Molitor before and has been... there was a time of period where he was missing.
Interesting.
As for Steven graduated Faux University 6 years ago. Yeah, he'd be close in age with Craigory. I think there'd be some overlap there.
Here's my TA.
Right. He definitely took some journalism classes. He was more interested in politics and accounting and economic studies. So clearly from the essays that he's written that he's gone on to publish for various like university papers, I don't think he made it into Redline because that wasn't like the career path he was focused on. But he's clearly interested in being involved with the governmental workings of Dirge. Likely has at least senatorial aspirations at some point. He's worked with the Faux family for several years. It looks like he started working with them as soon as he graduated.
Do I find anything about his, like, general hobbies outside of class?
Yeah, you'd find 3 different hobbies that he seems to engage in on a regular basis. So it looks like he's an avid Source player.
Yes. Back to Geist shop we go.
Bring him by.
Right.
Whoa, mark the day.
Seems to have been involved in a variety of fiction book clubs, so it seems like it's not just like economic stuff that he reads or writes.
Oh, they're gonna get along so well.
Right. And his last hobby...
Don't screw it up, Nathan. You're 2 for 3.
Dancing.
Too easy. His last hobby would be backpacking. He's gone out of the city a few times to do some camping and traveling.
Okay.
Interesting. Loves nature.
We can work with that. Craigory, this is gonna be so easy.
You're telling me. He's getting a little wine drunk now.
He's probably gonna question the gunshots though, so I have to come up with a really good answer for that, but other than that, gonna be top tier. We should probably not stay here all night so we don't get ambushed and murdered again.
There's gunshots that happen all over here. We're in Dirge. Look where you are.
I don't want to be the one that's shot again.
Well, we won't. We'll be fine to this time.
What'd you do with your rifle?
I dropped it off at home.
Did you bring it to work? Or did you drop it off first?
Nobody saw it. It was a hot day. I took off my jacket, just wrapped it up.
Just wrapped it up.
I feel like we need to talk about your gun safety, but
I can't use that thing anyway. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I got this. He holds up guns for dummies.
let me know how that works for you.
I'll try.
I mean, like you said, gunshots are everywhere, so I guess you could just go practice in an alley. I saw some trash gibbons stabbing each other today. You could just join them.
No. I don't think I will.
And that is how the rest of the conversation goes.
As your research wraps up, so you don't have your rifle with you. It's ambiguous whether you left it at work or at home. Can I have you actually determine? Because logistically,
before I ran to the office, I went home. I freshened up real quick, just like brushed my teeth, dropped off the gun.
okay.
So I can't bring that. I did wrap it up in my coat, though. It was hot when I left Rhonda, so I wrapped it up. I also didn't want to be seen walking around with a heavy rifle.
That's fair.
Wrapped it up.
Sure.
It's at home.
Okay. All right. We'll see you both home first before we call it for the night. So can you each make luck checks, please, as you make your way back to your abodes?
Does fortitude count?
That will count.
I'm going to use my luck point to re-roll that 4 into a 20.
I have a 12.
Okay. All right. So the two of you set out from downtown. Craigory, you would either need to go on foot or take a cab. I'll leave that up to you.
He'll take a cab.
Okay. And Nix, you can pretty easily hop on a late night train back to Green Banks, which is more or less safe territory for you. So, I mean, it was afternoon when you started. It's like pushing midnight at this point. There's definitely some unsavory individuals on the train, but they're minding their own business. So you make it to the station without issue. I think that we'll say you make it back to Rhonda's without incident.
That's good.
Craigory.
There's a decision made there.
The cab driver is gonna drop you off at. Do you give them your home address?
When they get near him, I'll just be like, here's all right.
Okay. So the cabbie's like, all right, have a good night. You pay your fare, and you can walk the rest of your way to your house. Could I have an awareness check?
Would you accept perceiving, intuiting, or investigating?
I will accept perceiving. I appreciate you covering your bases, though. Just keeping your wits about you.
It's a 9.
Mm-hmm. You're still a little wine drunk. You fumble with your key for a minute and then push your way inside, not realizing that you didn't have to unlock your door.
Oh no.
This has been The Ties That Bind. Jump into our Discord, discord.gg/mythcraft to discuss this episode. Check out patreon.com/quasi-real-publishing for a variety of subscription tiers. Donate to Monteviore Hospital because someone might need it soon. And until next time, keep crafting those myths.
I'm so stressed.
Told you not to give the president my address.
Oh my god.
Oops.
Oh goodness, it was such a lovely morning stroll with Tinker, you know. He loves to go through the dog park here, and today he got to see all of his favorite people. It was so wonderful. Angela Holmes, Daniel Trout, oh, David Roraff with his little pug. It was so precious, the two of them. Jesse Fishgrab, Corey Griffin, Luke McWilliams. Now, his chihuahua did get a little bit feisty, but that's okay. We'll not hold that against McWilliams. Michael and Porterhouse, of course. Ryan Scripter, Sunshine Castleford. Sunshine with their two palms. They're wonderful. They're a sunshine regardless. Blair Little, Liz. I can't. You see, Tinker just loves this one so much. Lindsay Valkyrie and Tinker, kindred spirits from afar. Ian Skinari, Austin Diaz, and of course, Matt Will McCard. You all will be in Tinker's heart forever.